Keep Your Fire Burning segment is all about networking. These are the do's and don'ts of networking. Jacksonville is a networking city. You could literally go to a different networking function morning, noon, and night in Jacksonville. And I did just that on Tuesday. And I had two experiences that really reflect the best and the worst of networking. In the evening reception, I saw a woman that I had met a few times before, and she greeted me with great enthusiasm, and we hugged, and she introduced me warmly to her group of associates, and we all exchanged business cards. We chatted about our work, our lives, our families, and it was a wonderful interchange. The next day, I received a LinkedIn message from her, and we chatted back and forth on LinkedIn. I sent her an email, and we're setting up a lunch. That was an ideal networking scenario. My lunch experience was not so much that kind of experience. It was rather negative. I went to a new organization where I had not attended before, and I saw a woman that I had met once before, and I went over and said hello, and I knew we had a shared learning experience, so I asked her about that, and she kind of mumbled something, and then she looked everywhere else. I asked her another question. She wasn't even looking at me, and she clearly made it obvious that she really didn't want to talk to me. So, which of those two women do you think that I want to do business with in the future? Which of those two women do you think I want to refer business to? Networking is all about people, and it's all about relationships. And what happens at networking functions is largely up to you and your attitude. You have to be prepared when you're getting ready to go and network. Find out everything you can about the organization, the people who are there. Look up the board of directors and see if you know anybody, because you can get a board member to introduce you around. You want to be dressed appropriately, and I call it the two-pocket rule. You have one pocket for your business cards and one pocket for their business cards. You want to make sure that you have business cards with you. So often I encounter women who do not have their cards with them, and it's impossible to follow up with them or refer business to them. And you want to come prepared with breath mints or spray. You want to have fresh breath, and you want to have a good smile. Your smile is memorable. Your smile is the gateway for people to talk to you. It welcomes people in. You don't want to sit with your friends when you go to a networking function. And in fact, you shouldn't be sitting at all until everybody else is. You want to talk, and you want to mingle, and you want to talk to new people. So how should you approach others, and what's the best way? What's the do of networking? Well, do start by introducing yourself and asking them about their lives and their businesses. You should spend the vast majority of your conversation with good eye contact, a smile, and listening intently to the answers to your questions. Ask them questions about their business. Ask them how they got started in the industry, what they like best about it, what are the coming trends, what would they recommend to people who are interested in getting into the field, and ask them also what is their ideal client prospect. Almost everyone wants to tell you that. Then find out a little bit about them personally. Ask them about their families, about where they want to go on vacation, what they do for fun. And as you finish up the conversation, if they ask you about your business, tell a brief success story and then turn the conversation back to them. Make the conversation all about them. Find out what their needs are and what resources you could offer them and how you could refer business to them. After the conversation, make some notes on the back of their business card or in your phone so that when you follow up with them, you've got good things to reference. And you do want to follow up with them. That's one of the biggest don'ts. Don't just leave it to assume that the person will get in touch with you. Do follow up. And one of the most powerful ways to follow up with them is to write a handwritten note. It almost never happens in today's world, and it's so valuable and memorable. And you pull out your notes about that person and you reference the things that they talked about. Don't make the mistake of trying to get 25 business cards at one event. If you can have 3 or 4 meaningful conversations with people, you will be surprised what can happen. People do business with those they know, like, and trust. I remember being at a conference in Rhode Island, and I walked in and I chatted with this one gentleman, and we talked about sailing and the ocean for quite a while. We chatted. He was in a completely different industry, didn't think anything would happen, but I stayed in touch with him, sent him my email newsletter, and I followed up with him. You always want to follow up with prospects every 5 to 6 weeks. Add value, send articles of interest. Lo and behold, 6 months later, he needed a keynote speaker, and he called me up, and I ended up doing the speech for his company. You never know how things are going to go. The most important thing is to add value. You want to be of service to people. You want to help them as much as possible, be a resource to them. If they're looking for a certain kind of vendor and you know somebody, provide that information to them. Be a conduit for other people. Remember, people do business with those they know, like, and trust. And you do want a network to get out and grow your business, but always come from a service consciousness. Always come from the how can I help others? How can I add value? You'll be amazed when you start doing that how many people want to bring you into their companies and do business with you. So to keep your fire burning, do follow the do's and don'ts of networking and make sure that you follow up in an appropriate manner.